English. This is episode 1, April 12th, 2022. We're flying the plane as we're building it. So we're just going to see where this takes us. Today's guest is Harith. Harith, how do you say your name? Say your name so I don't mess it up.
That's correct. Harith.
What's your last name?
Ikal.
Ikal. Ismi Ikal.
Ismi Ikal.
So so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Baghdad, Iraq.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty known for Americans.
Well, yeah, you know what's interesting about that, Chris? Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to hear, what do you already know about Baghdad and Iraq?
What do I know?
Yeah.
I don't know much of anything. Baghdad, Iraq.
Yeah.
You know,
you're the American man here.
Yeah, I mean, just wars and stuff. That's what that means to me. That's not. It's not good. So
Harvard for terrorists.
Did you say a harbor? Harbor for terrorists? Yeah.
That's what Mr. Trump said once.
Yeah, you're not bringing in your best people. Anyway. You know what's kind of interesting is so where are you now, Harith?
I'm living now in Berlin, Germany.
Yeah.
I'm working here since 2020.
Okay, in Berlin though, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
so 2 years.
Okay, and you and I have known each other since what, 2016?
Right?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I guess
was winter
2016 time. Or 17. I'm not sure. I was
gonna say it might have been like the winter, like January, February 2017.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, we went to Schweiz. Do I have that right? I
don't
even know
true. We went to Dresden.
Yeah, well, that was fun. I say that sarcastically.
Well,
yeah. Ooh, I mean, you want to here? So, you want to relay that story? I'd be interested to hear you tell it.
It's okay, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember what happens in the train after we left Dresden?
That's the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I was attacked by some Nazis.
Attacked. Yeah. Is attack the right word here?
I don't know.
It's
attack, right?
You were shoved, but I'm not gonna say that it was not an attack. Yeah, that fucking sucked. Do you want to? Tell us more about it.
Well, that was the first time I faced such things in Germany, and I was really, you remember, I was really shocked and did not expect that.
Tell us.
But so we were I think we were into the train, right? We were not at the platform.
Yeah, we
were inside.
Yeah, we were
right?
in the train and we were looking for our seats.
Exactly. So I saw there were, I guess, 4 guys. They were shouting at another guy who seems like he's from the Middle East or somewhere from Asia. I don't know.
Yeah. Not from Germany.
Exactly, not from Germany. And so I was just watching them, how they treat that guy. And I guess one of them just saw me that I was staring on them. And then I at that time, I didn't speak actually German, so I didn't know what exactly he said, but I guess something bad. And then he punched me here. Don't you remember?
I didn't know that he punched you.
Well, not a bunch, but it was just kind of.
I knew it was a shove. From were. I was one person in front of you, so.
Exactly, you didn't see it, I guess.
Yeah.
He punched me here, while you are looking at us or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that dude's face was gnarly too. He had been glassed. Do you know what glassed is? Actually, Chris,
yes.
Do you know what glassed is?
Glassed?
It's a British slang. So glassed is when I just wanted to take a second to write that down. Glassed it's a British slang for somebody who had a bottle broken in their face. You can tell from the scar tissue,
exactly.
Probably been glassed.
I think so. There was a big scar over his eye.
Yeah, you remember that too, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like webbed across his face. Yeah, I remember
True.
it clearly. But yeah, no, that's don't get me wrong, Dresden's actually, it was really
But
beautiful.
yeah, well, it's very beautiful city, but we were in the wrong time. Do you know there was a demonstration for Pegida,
That's
and
right.
it was
Yeah.
the anniversary of Pegida, and they
Hmm.
were like just demonstrating through the streets in Dresden,
Now, for the
and we had
uninitiated,
no idea.
yeah, for the uninitiated, can you tell us what Pegida is?
Oh,
There's
well,
Pegida and Legida, right?
yeah, Pegida is what was the it's an acronym for well, I don't remember exactly, but they are
Okay.
like people who are defending Germany from the foreigners. And Pegida is like the main group. Legida is for Leipzig,
Hmm.
this L. Ah, I think it's something blah 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 gegen Islamisierung Europa, which means against Islamization of
Okay,
Europe.
so okay, so it actually
Such things, I'm
targets
not quite
Muslims.
sure.
Hmm.
Well, I think so.
Yeah,
But I guess they don't care. Like, I mean, there are Christians in Iraq and they just look like me.
right.
So how can you tell?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not looking like European, then maybe you'll be a target for them. But
Yeah.
I don't
There's
want to generalize
You're
this
right.
thing because it's the only one time that I faced such things in
I was
Germany.
gonna say,
And
yeah. So overall, in your 7 years there, maybe, like, what's your
yes,
general? How do you feel you have been received by Germany?
I think I'm accepted here,
Hmm.
except this
Give us
thing.
examples. Give us examples of how you've been accepted in Germany.
Um, so like I think you remember like in Berlin and in Leipzig, I had some German friends. They were treating me very well. I was getting to the university. There are also many people from here, and you never seen that. I mean, you can feel when you are um, somehow people are staring on you or watching you in a bad way. I think you can feel that. But at that time, I couldn't speak German. I think you remember. And I can get along with many German people. I mean, that's not an issue. That was not an issue.
Yeah. I'm interested in actually I always have questions. Chris, do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
sure.
What do you do in Germany? Did you already say that?
Oh, uh, no. So I actually came to Germany to do my PhD in Leipzig University, but then it didn't work. And then I moved to Senftenberg. It's a small town in the east of Germany, and I did my second master in biotechnology. And since 2 years, I moved to Germany, to Berlin, and I started my PhD. So I'm now doing my PhD in Free University of Berlin, and at the same time, I'm working as a research assistant at Leibniz Institute for Molecular Pharmacology.
What field are you going into? What's your
I'm
particular?
special, so in biochemistry,
Cool. Now I remember.
but
Go ahead.
yeah,
I was wondering. Do
yeah.
you? The first time I had ever heard of CRISPR was from you.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's like, Chris. Have you heard of CRISPR?
Nope.
Okay, okay. Because I've been hearing a lot about CRISPR since I left Germany. Um,
mhm.
can you tell us a bit about CRISPR?
Calvin, for the
So
audience, how long did you live in Germany?
Okay, I lived in Germany from 2016 until 2020. It was January to about January, so like 4 years. No, 3 years. It was 20. So let me start over. I lived from Germany. I lived in Germany from about January 2016 to about January 2019. So 3 years.
And for context, I've never been overseas.
Yeah, Chris, actually, I was wondering,
Yeah.
Have you talked to people? Do you have experience talking to people that are not from, like, born in America?
I had some exchange students in high school who I was decent friends with, not great. And then even in college, I don't think there were too many international students.
Okay. So this is a pretty new experience
not a
to
lot,
you too, right?
not a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
I
interested.
had one American friend who lived abroad because his dad lived in Germany, and they moved the family over there for a while for his work, but not a ton.
Okay. Was your friend's
Our
dad in the
group.
military?
No, just go ahead.
He worked. I know he worked for one of the car companies.
Oh, okay. Okay. When I was abroad, a lot of people just assumed that I was military. So, Harith, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just saying, about to say that our group in Leipzig was pretty international. If you remember, like we were like people from different continents, I guess.
Yeah, we were all over the world. It was like,
exactly.
You're from Iraq, Tarek's from Syria, I'm from the USA. We had
Anila, and Ilona from Poland, Chelman from Germany. I don't know who else.
Hey, what was the guy's name that's from Yemen?
Hamzi.
Hamzi. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
How's he doing these days?
He's working in Leipzig. He finished his studies, and he's working in solar energy company. Nice. I don't remember, but cool. Yeah.
Let's get back to what it is that you do. Like, what are your goals with what you do?
So, I don't know, like, I guess you know what is microbiome? So microbiome is the bacteria that lives on and in our bodies.
Okay.
Or the microflora, I don't know.
Ooh, what's the difference between microbiomes and microflora? I think I get it, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Yeah. Okay. So actually we are the host for many different microbes that lives on the skin and on us in general, and also in the our organs. And most of these microbes are living in the gut in a symbiotic relationship.
Cool. I love that word, symbiotic relationship. It's a great phrase.
Yeah, so should you explain, or you should explain what is a symbiotic? Is a long-term biological relationship between two different organisms, let's say. And so these microbes help us to digest our food, and of course they produce a lot of different enzymes, metabolites, but it also could impact in our health negatively, or they could harm us. And as I have 2 master degrees, the first in Malaysia was in microbiology, and the second one in Germany in cell biology. So I decided to study the interactions between
very cool
microbiomes, bacteria in general, microbes, and hosts. And that's why I joined the lab of microbiome-driven diseases in Leibniz Institute. And we are focusing on the impact of these microbes in developing colorectal cancer.
Very cool.
Because, as I said, like healthy microbiome, we could gain a lot of benefits from it. But when this balance is disrupted somehow, they could really initiate different serious diseases, and one of them is cancer. So my project is focusing on studying a protein of bacteria that is overrepresented in all over and in almost all cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some studies showed that there is a relation between the existence of these bacteria and colon cancer. So I'm trying to study the mechanism, how they could impact on cancer cells. Do they stimulate the healthy cells to transform to cancer cells, or do they only promote the growth of cancers? And if we study this molecular mechanism, it would be a prerequisite for developing an inhibitor or drugs.
Can you repeat this one word? It will be what?
Yeah. Prerequisite?
Maybe prerequisite.
Prerequisite. Okay.
That's it. Good.
Yes. To develop drugs.
I want you to go back and say that sentence one more time, because I was stuck on the vocabulary. It will be go ahead.
So understanding the molecular mechanism will help. It is a prerequisite for developing.
Prerequisite. Stress on the prerequisite.
Prerequisite to develop drugs that hinder this effect or inhibits.
And so are you saying that in order to prevent certain kinds of colorectal cancer, antibiotics might be prescribed? Is that happening now?
No. Okay. Antibiotics will kill everything. But if we understand how these harmful bacteria interact with the epithelial cells of the colon, then this understanding will help us to develop new kind of drugs or inhibitors to inhibit this kind of interactions between this specific harmful bacteria and the colon, the gut cells.
Okay. In the making of antibiotics, can you target the bacteria that might be harmful?
I don't think it's gonna be an antibiotic.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a chemical compounds that just inhibit the bindings.
Ooh, interesting.
So that's
Okay. Very cool.
So just to target this, as I said, like if we understand exactly how these bacteria has the influence on the gut cells or the binding of this bacteria to this gut barrier, then we can develop kind of chemical compounds that inhibit these bindings. And by inhibiting these bindings, hopefully this will make the survival of the cells or inhibiting the initiation of cancer. We don't know yet.
Now, let me ask you this: is it sounds like this process? I'm a layman. A layman is somebody who doesn't know the specifics, right?
Okay.
Very simple mind. I don't know it very well, but my question is this a similar process to birth control, where it doesn't allow the mucus linings of the uterus to generate and for the egg to attach to the uterus wall? It sounds like it's similar to that, where it's not allowing the binding of the bacteria to the colorectal wall, whatever you might call that tissue. Is it similar to that?
No, I don't have like really much details on birth control, but I don't think it's the same, because I think that's more like into hormonal things to stop this like development process of the oval system. But this is like just interactions between microbiome and human cells, and we want to inhibit this interaction of this specific bacteria.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's a long way. We are still in the beginning.
Fascinating stuff.
Harith is saving the world. That is what he's attempting here.
No.
It's very impressive.
We are doing our best to, of course, there are many studies, they are doing the same. But when we, all this knowledge accumulate, then we can really develop specific drugs to stop cancer, hopefully, because I think like colorectal cancer is the second most, how to say this, cancer related death. Is it correct to say this?
It's the most abundant. No, that's not right. Like it's the most
Yeah,
common. It's the most common form of
it's the most
fatal
second.
cancer. Okay, the
Yeah,
second
okay,
most.
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
the second most.
Okay, so you're saying that colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of fatal cancer.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, interesting. Hey, what's the first? Heart?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not. You don't get heart cancer. What is the first?
I'm not really sure, but I guess it's lung cancer.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. So
what about
smoking?
And yeah, pollutants. So how about your diet? You know, like in the meantime, you know, like you are saving the world, but it hasn't happened yet. What kind of steps can you take?
exactly. I think like everyone knows the phrase, you are what you eat.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And this is 100% true because, as I said, like almost 90% of the microbiome actually is located in the gut system. So if you want to grow more healthy microbiome, you should eat more healthy food. If you eat junk food, then of course, like more harmful bacteria will grow. And then the more harmful bacteria you have, the more problems it could lead.
So I know that like my diet is probably leaning more towards the harmful side. And I'm wondering, yeah, what are the harmful foods that might be carcinogens? Carcinogen is a big word for cancer.
Yeah, I know, but I think this is a big word to say carcinogenous food.
Okay.
No, but if you eat like food full of carbohydrates and fat, of course, this will have a big impact on the microbiome. Just for fact, do you know that there are more bacteria living on and in us more than our cells? So like the current estimation, the human body is actually composed of, I guess, in the range of 30 trillion cells.
Okay.
And I think the current estimation of the microbes in our body is 10 to the power 14.
10 to the power of 14.
That's a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
It is a lot. And they encode for 100 times more gene than our cells.
Are you saying that like each
so
collectively?
Collectively, this bacteria encodes 100 times more genes than our body, our cells.
It's amazing.
So this is really very important, I would say, invisible organ, just like the heart or the eye.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to treat it very well by eating healthy food to promote more healthy microbes to grow that helps you to just your body will function correctly.
Are there any power foods that really, you know, they're outliers, they stand out, they're outstanding for your microbiome?
You always see those articles online. They say, this is the power food that unlocks whatever. And then you click on the article and they never tell it. And so, yes, Harith, we need to know, what are the secrets?
Yeah,
no, actually, everything is important. Everything is important. Carbohydrates, fat, proteins, vitamins, everything is important, but you have to eat moderately and just be sure that you eat more vegetables than processed food, processed meat. I think this is the worst. And yeah, just eat diverse, like colorful vegetables, whatever.
Do you take supplements?
I do not.
Okay. Why
just
not?
All natural.
But of course, like
that's right, me too.
Yeah, like just try to eat, like as I said, increase the vegetables, less meat. I know maybe some vegetarians will be angry about this, but you need proteins, of course, a source of protein, fat, and carbohydrates, but junk food, just avoid junk food, really.
Yeah.
And just to give you just one example how this microbiome is important, in one experiment, they actually transplant microbiome samples from depressed people in healthy rats. And after some time, these healthy rats actually shows anxiety behavior, which is a sign of depression. Just wanted to show you this is really
It's fascinating.
important. Yeah, there is even in new studies, there is a direct connection between the microbiome and the brain. And even actually, if you eat junk food, so more harmful bacteria will be in your gut, and they will communicate with your brain to eat more food, to eat more junk food.
Wow.
Because they need this food.
Yeah.
But if you eat healthy food, this healthy bacteria will also communicate with your brain and tell you to eat more healthy food. So at the beginning, it's going to be very struggling. But
have you ever
then
heard of, oh, go ahead, please. Please. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, everything at the beginning will be very hard if you change your diet or your lifestyle. But after time, it's going to be really easier and easier.
Yeah, your discipline becomes a habit.
Yep.
I'm getting hungry the more we're talking about food here.
Okay. I want some good
stuff. We need to change topics.
None of this Taco Bell BS.
Yeah, sure.
Harith, have you heard of the Blue Zones diet?
Blue Zones? No.
Blue Zones. Chris, have you heard of Blue Zones?
Nope.
Okay, so Blue Zones are, I wish I knew the exact vocabulary, but like anthropologists, right? Anthropologists are people who study people on the planet. These people have discovered that there are certain blue zones of civilization on our planet. And these blue zones are, they have people who live an inordinate amount of time. Like they live longer than the ordinary person. These people started asking, like, what is it about this culture and civilization that allows them to live longer? And it turns out that there's a few factors of it. And the ones that I can remember now are their diet. And I know that there's a lot of Mediterranean civilizations that are in the blue zones. So I know that the Mediterranean diet is really good for this too. And also the communication amongst people. People, over time, it seems like certain civilizations have become more isolated. Like the dinner table is kind of a thing of the past. But these blue zones have more community. They have more interaction amongst one another. So that's the blue zones. And yeah, I know they have cookbooks too. The Blue Zones Kitchen is published by National Geographic. Yeah. So check that stuff out. It's interesting.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there is, as I said, direct connection between what you eat and what is in your gut. So maybe that's also overlapping with what I was saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's really no doubt about that. And, so many people out there would agree with you on that. Yeah.
So, Chris, where do you want to take us?
Good question.
I'll go wherever we're headed. I think we're just trying to make this conversational and point out things that come up when primarily Harith, you're speaking, to talk about some educational points in vocabulary that our boy Calvin here is an expert on throughout his past.
Easier said than done.
But I didn't know a whole lot about you, and I definitely didn't know what you were working on, and you are insanely intelligent.
Yes,
so
thanks.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. That being said, Harith, are you into sports at all? I'm a big sports guy, so
Yeah, I really like ping pong and football or soccer,
soccer.
as you call it.
Well, living in Germany is a great place
But
for soccer, right? Football.
true, but I used to play before Corona, but now
Oh,
after the
okay.
lockdown and the rules, and I moved to new city, so I'm not really playing soccer here in Berlin, but I was playing in Leipzig and Zentenberg. But because of Corona, I actually moved to ping pong or table
Oh,
tennis. I don't know what you called it in
Table
America.
tennis.
either or.
I,
Okay,
I had a student in Germany who was he was not he wasn't a pro, but he was like a high level amateur, and
okay,
table tennis is right. Yeah.
okay. So because of Corona regulations, you are only allowed to meet one person. Then I moved to table tennis and I start to practice this.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
and
It's fun.
yeah, till now I think it's easier to find a person than a whole team.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you
So
play?
table tennis and like there are like those tables in the parks, and of
Mm-hmm.
course like nowadays, like not nowadays, I mean in summer, but I used to go to sport complex or like just sport clubs.
See now,
Even
mhm. I was
we have
gonna
a
say that
sport hall in the university. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
let you go.
just go ahead.
You're the guest, man.
Yeah.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, so I told you like I was playing in the sport hall in the university, and there are some sport clubs in the city, and we just like rent a table, we go there. But in summer I like to play outside too.
Have you
So
improved your
indoor and
game?
outdoor. Yeah. I
Nice.
bought even like a professional racket,
Really?
customized. Yes.
It is a paddle. Yeah, a racket would be something like tennis. I guess
Ah,
the webbing
okay.
of it makes you think of a racket.
Uh,
Badminton is a racket.
I see. So this wooden thing, what do you call it? Pedal?
Paddle.
Paddle. Hmm.
Okay.
My mom used to hit me with a paddle. She didn't hit me with a racket.
Okay, I thought
We'll
it's called
we'll,
Paddle.
we'll
racket.
edit
Yeah,
that out.
so
We'll edit that out in post production. Make sure your mom doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, it still hurts when I say it. That was I had a question, but I get sidetracked.
Harith.
Um,
All right. So
yeah,
I'll hit him with a follow up.
go for it.
So in America, in the United States, sports gambling is taking off like crazy. I'm just curious, in Germany, is it a frenzy like it is here?
uh, so I can't really say
Can't really say.
anything about that. Like I see a lot of like places for gambling, but I never been into one,
That's right.
or
What are
even
those
the people
called?
I know. Sport, what it was called?
Sporthalle? That's not right. Yeah, what is that?
No, wait, I can't
That's okay.
recall
If it
now.
comes to you
Uh,
later, yeah,
yeah,
we'll say it. But if not, that's fine too.
but that's true. I think they called it also. No,
I don't remember. I know
it's
that
something Halle. I forgot.
out in Australia, they have been gambling at. They're called the pokies, and
Okay.
when you go to a bar, you can bet on sports just because they have automatic machines.
Ah,
And
I think they called it Spielhalle. Sorry.
there you go. That's it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Spielhalle. Yeah,
yeah.
the
So,
pokies, the automatic gambling, like sports gambling machines,
mm-hmm,
the registers, whatever you want to call them, those are ubiquitous
mm-hmm.
out in Australia. Do you know what ubiquitous is, Har?
No.
Yeah, I'm going to be teaching some native English speakers the meaning of ubiquitous too.
I've heard it. I don't really
Yeah,
know what it means.
ubiquitous means that it's everywhere. Like
Ah,
air to us is ubiquitous. It's just normal. You don't even think about it. It's always
okay.
there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ubiquitous. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's starting to take off here, like Chris said.
Yeah, so Spielhalle. I never been into one, and I don't know any person that goes there actually. So I really don't know. I can't give you a good image how famous this in Germany.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
But yeah, there are many. I think it's just for people to do what they call it, money laundering.
Think so?
It could be. It could be.
I think so.
Interesting.
I don't want to accuse anybody. I'm just
no,
saying
it's
I
all
think
circumspect. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what's interesting here is, do you know the TV show Breaking Bad?
yes, sure.
So, it's all in my head. I could be making this up for all I know. But in Breaking Bad, they had to launder money too. So do you remember what they did, the family? They created car washes. And I'm seeing car washes go up all over the city. And it's just like, okay, all right.
Because none of them are good. Because none of the car washes are good around here. So that's why all these entrepreneurs bringing up new car washes. I can't find a
This
place
is
to get a car
how
wash.
media influence our mentality.
This
is a good example. So if you're watching Fox News, you'll be probably not happy seeing my face on your podcast.
You're scary. You're scary. But yeah, all this stuff, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you heard that? Have you heard that
What are you baking
expression?
with that grain of salt, huh?
Yeah.
What are you
I've
cooking?
heard.
Have you heard that, Harith, that expression or that idiom?
Grain of salt, or?
Yeah.
But I can't recall the meaning, actually. I think you told me, Calvin, once.
For the audience, if you take something, take it with a grain of salt, that means you are going, just think about like putting the idea in your pocket and just saving it for later. It's there, but you don't need to use it now. A grain of salt is very small. It's important, but one grain of it, it's not that important. So just save it for later.
Something to think about.
Yeah. So yeah, take these thoughts, take all that information with a grain of salt.
Yeah, but we didn't get to know Chris, actually. What is he doing? Where is he from?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the reason I'm a big sports guy is I work in college athletics, and I'm the commissioner of a conference of schools, made up of schools. So I have schools all over the country who play sports together. And it's associated with the NCAA on a smaller level. So a bunch of small schools, and we live in Florida, just north of where Calvin lives. So that's what I do. I've been working in college athletics for 10 years now. I just work from home right here in my office. I enjoy playing golf, and my wife's kind of like an engineer. So yeah.
And how do you know Calvin?
I met Calvin when we moved to Vero Beach through a young adults group that we found on Facebook. As everybody knows, there's a bunch of elderly people who live in Florida, and so meeting younger people is a bit of a challenge. But there's a Facebook group that my wife stumbled upon, and we just started going to events of theirs and started meeting people who are pretty much all in the same boat, younger people. And it's a nice range. There's anybody from 20 years old to 45. So it's a pretty good range of people, and everyone's just kind of looking for the same thing, friendship and whatever else. And like
the average, it seems like the average age of people around here are 15 years older. I call it the Florida 15. They're like 15 years older than normal. Yeah, we go out and we have trivia night tonight. For the audience, we have bar trivia, and in England they call it pub quiz. That's when you have a host, and that host comes with rounds of questions, and your team answers those questions one round at a time. you keep score, and the winner wins prizes. Sometimes it's gift cards for free merchandise at the bar. So yeah, usually we get beer. Sometimes we save them up and get kegs for parties. I remember out in Korea, it was cash prizes, and that was really nice. You know, we'd get about $100 every Sunday. But yeah, we
Wow.
do trivia, and then we go to karaoke. We walk over to a different place for karaoke, and yeah, man, it's a blast. I really enjoy that club.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
Are you going to do that tonight?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tuesdays we do that.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to a
Nice.
baseball game on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot. Do you still practice
I used to play.
baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that was that's
I think you were playing for a team here in Leipzig, right?
That's right. The Leipzig Wall Breakers.
Yeah, you were once in the newspaper.
That's right. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that since it happened. Yeah. Yeah, that was good times, man. Yeah. That was a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Is there any team like you can join in Florida?
So I'm currently on a kickball team. Kickball is baseball, but you kick the ball that is rolled to you. It's like a children's playground ball, a dodgeball.
It sounds so dumb when you describe it, doesn't it? I know what kickball is, but it's like hearing you describe it, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. It's very fun.
Yeah, dumb is fun. I love it. Karaoke is, up there with some of the dumbest stuff ever too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You got people just howling music into a microphone into a bunch of drunk people at a bar, but it's a blast. And there is a softball team here too. I probably won't join it because I only have so many hours in the day. So what do you do, Harith? What do you do for fun? What's your hobby?
I really like photography. I like cooking. I think you taste what I cook when you were in Leipzig.
Man. Yep, it's coming back to me in waves.
What type of food do you specialize in?
Well, I don't have really specialization, but I cook a lot of Mediterranean food, Arabic food. Yeah, but I also love Italian.
Of the food with the grape leaves, I can never remember the name of it. Something's wrapped in grape leaves.
Dolma. That's That's the Iraqi version, but yeah, like every country in the Middle East, they do it in their own way. But I think you've tested at my place, right?
You had made it for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is that
yeah, exactly. But I guess it's called the same in Turkey and in Greece.
Okay. Yeah,
that's the Iraqi version.
It's good for your biome too, I'm sure.
A lot of vegetables too, right?
Seriously.
Yeah, so photography, cooking, and of course, like I told you, I really love soccer. But since Corona, I moved to table tennis, and it became also a hobby, really.
Yeah, I know you're a really active person. Do you do anything at home for a hobby?
Well, nowadays, because I'm really working in Berlin, is a very big city. Like I'm almost arriving at 6 p.m. I think 6 p.m. 18.
Say that again. Oh yeah, no. Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there.
I'm just used to the German system now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. I'm going to explain this to the audience. Is that most of the world uses 24-hour time. So when something is 18 o'clock, we have to know that it's 6 p.m. Now, you had said that you are. Did I hear this correct? You are surviving until 6, or you're surviving. I must have misheard you.
No, so I leave home. So I leave work at 5 p.m. And I will reach home at 6. Then I cook, eat something. Then it's already 7, 8. So I'm not really that active in Berlin. Only in the weekends.
Yeah,
I just want to get rested, and yeah.
Now, how did you find people in Berlin? I mean, like we
I think
found each other through Facebook social groups. How about you?
in Berlin, I think I just moved in the wrong time, Corona time.
Naturally.
It's a bit harder to make friends and to meet people. But nowadays, um, so no more strict rules, I would say. We're just wearing masks.
Okay.
So yeah, social life is coming back again. But I have a bunch of people that I already know from Leipzig. I think you know Christiana, for example.
Absolutely. Hmm.
She's here. I'm meeting her from time to time. I
Cool.
have other friends here, but I do not have really made any new friends here in Berlin.
Yeah.
But hopefully this summer.
Yeah, man, it's only a matter of time. Like you're the most personable person I know. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just looking forward for summer. It's still cold here, man.
I was wondering. So here in Florida, it kind of feels like the pandemic has just gone away. Like
Okay.
there might be a person wearing a mask when we're out. And I'm curious, like we're stuck in our world. Uh, I'm curious about yours. What's the situation like in Germany with masks?
Um, I think now it's not obligatory to wear masks in
Mm-hmm.
the markets, in shopping centers, but it's still like you are advised to wear. However, it's still obligatory to wear masks in the public transport.
Okay. And one thing about
And
pronunciation,
yes,
obligatory. Stress on the li.
obligatory.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, obligatory.
Perfect. That was easier to
Yeah.
understand too.
Mm-hmm. What I was saying?
Um,
Yeah,
the last thing you had said was
and
that it's not obligatory on public transportation. Or it is, isn't it?
it
I see.
is
I see.
obligatory in
Very good.
public transport. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Has
like now it's really okay. You can I think the clubs, bars, restaurants, everything is open now and you can go. So I hope it will remain like this.
Absolutely. Hey, what do you think
You
the
know,
response will be if, let's say, let's call it like, a bad scenario. Let's say that numbers start to spike again. It seems, I don't know. Anyway, let's say that numbers spike again and the government is requiring certain things. Let's start with masks again, like masks when you go into a public place like a restaurant. I'm wondering, in Germany, what do you think the social reaction would be?
They just did it in Philadelphia, what, a couple days
Did
ago.
they? I didn't know about that.
They're the first ones apparently.
Really?
you
To
mean
come
in
back?
in restaurants? Oh,
Indoor
I think.
indoor mask mandates pretty much is what I heard.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'd be interested to know what is the social response to that in Philadelphia as well as Germany.
I think nowadays like they learned a lot from the pandemic
Mhm.
and like they have here now what they call it Ampel regulations. I don't know. Like Ampel
Light,
is the
light,
traffic lights.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like a
So they
light
have
beer.
this
It's
lights.
not heavy.
Now
Yeah.
it's a green. If
Mm-hmm.
the numbers increased again, then it's gonna be a bit like the rules will be a bit tighter or
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right.
gonna
Yeah,
be more strict to the
tighter,
yellow.
strict,
Yeah, tighter.
stronger. Mm-hmm.
So
Even
that's the
heavier is
yellow.
understandable.
And
Mm-hmm.
I hope we will never reach the red light, which is, I guess, a lockdown.
Another shutdown. Yikes.
Or
Yeah, just thinking about it.
yeah,
It's been an
but
interesting
I guess
ride.
like now with the Omicron variant is not that bad, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. But you don't know. Maybe a new strain will be evolved.
Now, something I've heard is that it's not necessarily COVID. Okay, let's say this:
Yeah.
as a virus mutates, it
Hmm.
is less fatal to the host
Not
because it.
always.
Okay, good. I want you to tell me about this because I know you know more about it than I do.
Not always. There are different kind of mutations and depend where this mutation occur. If it's really, for example, the spike protein, which is, I guess now it's very well known all over the world.
Yeah.
What does it mean though? I hear that phrase a lot, and I'm not really, I'm not
what
somebody
is
who
it?
I'm not really someone who looks into things a lot. I just like hear them. I'm
The
like, okay,
spike, you mean, or
yeah,
what?
the
The
spike.
spike?
Like, what is it? What does that mean?
So it's just a protein on the surface of the virus, look like a spike. And that's why
So
they
it's just the
call
way
it
it
the
looks.
spike protein. Yeah. So this spike protein is responsible for the attachment to the host cells in our lungs, for example. And if the virus mutated or the spike protein mutated, there are different kinds of mutations. The some call this silent mutations, which means they just occurs in areas that will not have an impact on the attachment of the virus to the host. But there are other like really bad mutations where the mutations occurs in exactly the area where the virus binds to the cells. And this could make the binding more effective, which means more aggressive variant, or less effective, which means less effective variant.
Wow.
So that's why it's not always harmful or not harmful.
There's a randomness to it. I mean, it's like a measured
Exactly.
type
It
of
depends.
randomness.
It really
Sure.
depends.
Man, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the Omicrons, I guess we are fine. I hope.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But I guess this is like, well, it's a never-ending story. The virus will continue to mutate.
Yeah, we got to learn to live with it, right? I mean, at some point.
I think so. Like now we have really state-of-art technologies. We can develop vaccines in a very short period of time. And I think it's quite safe. So just get your shot.
So I was talking a bit with Aniela, who is a friend of ours, and this was at the beginning. This was like March 2020, at the beginning of the world shutting down. We were talking about the mRNA vaccine.
Yeah,
it was not in one ear and out the other to me. Like I kept some of that information, but what is the difference between a vaccine where they inject a weakened form of the virus into your body to allow your immune system to grow, to get strong, and an mRNA vaccine? Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, okay. So when you have this weakened virus, so the general,
what was that word? What kind of virus?
Weakened
virus.
Weakened. Okay.
Okay, maybe I did not stress the D. Weakened virus.
I heard weakened.
No, weakened virus. So there are different classes of vaccines or different categories, but in order to understand how the vaccines work, you have to understand how the immune system works. And I would say, so like the immune cells detect foreign invaders. Let's call them the antigen, where they recognize kind of different structures or protein within the invader. And then
they're
will
guard, right? They're guarding.
Yeah,
they're keeping
exactly.
watch over the health of
and
the
then
body.
exactly. And then they will try to kill these invaders. This is just very basic. I'm trying to break it down for
that's what I need.
People. So what we are doing with
the layman,
yeah.
So what we are doing with the vaccine, we are just trying to introduce an antigen, which means this, let's say the protein that our immune cells could recognize and attack, to just like train, like, you know, like a military, and you tell them this is your enemy. Whenever they see this guy, they will attack. So this is the basic concept of vaccine. So the old type of, or the old method of vaccine was just weakened the viruses by heat or chemical stuff, treat them. So we break it down, break to chunks of the virus, and then inject it. Then the immune cells will recognize. But the bad thing about this, it could recognize different proteins of the virus that you inject, which means it's not consistent response, right? Is it that correct?
You lost me a little bit at the last part.
Okay.
You're saying that the virus, you know, the weakened virus can recognize the...
No, the immune cells could recognize the weakened virus.
Okay.
But because you weaken the virus, you are just injecting different chunks of the virus. It's not consistent because you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's like
the
one has a
effectiveness,
head wound and the other has like a broken arm. And
exactly. Or one will have more of this part and the other have less this part. So it's variable.
Okay.
And that will affect also the effectiveness of the vaccine, because the immune system will recognize different things. However, in the mRNA, we just introduce a sequence of a specific protein of the virus that will be produced in your body.
Yeah.
And then the immune cells will recognize this specific protein. And that's how generating immunity, like you are immune against this kind of protein. I don't know if that's clear, but
it
maybe
makes
I have
sense.
to.
Yeah, essentially you are adding guards to that are
but there are
specialized
different
in...
levels.
Okay.
You can inject a protein, but when you are injecting mRNA is just messenger RNA that needs to be translated to protein. So this mRNA will get inside your cells, and using the machinery of your cells, this protein, this virus protein will be produced in your cells, and then the immune cells would recognize this protein on your cells.
So like, well, I can see how people would be frightened about this.
Yes.
It's, you know, I don't want to speak for people who really are, but is there something that you could say to alleviate, like to kind of help?
So people are afraid that the mRNA will actually stick to your DNA or like bind it to your DNA, and that will generate cancer, mutations, whatever, like all this kind of bad things. But if you understand what is mRNA, then you know that it is safe. The half-life of the mRNA is just few hours, and that's why even it's right? And that's why it's kept in very low temperature. Because at the room temperature, I guess like 4 to 8, I'm not sure, 8 hours, then it will be broken down. So there is no mRNA at all. And that's why it's not really sticking to your DNA. It's not staying in your cells for a long time. It's just few hours to generate few proteins that could be recognized by the immune cells. So I think there is no issue of danger there.
So it's not the DNA that is replicating this antibody, right?
No, so like this is called the central dogma. So from the DNA, a gene on the DNA will be transcribed to mRNA, and the mRNA will leave the nucleus of the cells to the cytoplasm, and then will be translated by the ribosomes to a protein, and the protein will have a function. This is the general concept. Sorry. Yeah, so where we were?
You were talking about mRNA.
Yeah, so we are
replicating.
not really playing on the DNA level. So this is mRNA, which will not be integrated into your DNA. It will not do any harm. It will be broken down very fast. And I think it's pretty safe. And it's not new, actually. There are a lot of research has been done in mRNA field, and many companies, they were trying to develop even mRNA vaccines against different types of cancer. But
so
virus,
I've heard somebody with the argument, the vaccine doesn't work. Hear me out.
Okay.
The polio vaccine worked because when you get the vaccine, you don't get polio anymore. When you get the Corona-19 vaccine, you might still get Corona-19. The vaccine doesn't work. What is your response to that?
So vaccine is not a drug. So there is no vaccine will protect you from not getting the virus again. That's not true. You will be infected, but the response of your immune cells will be very rapid, and then you can't feel it. So even influenza, I think there are like shots for people every year, but you still can get influenza. So the goal of the vaccine is not getting the virus again, but protecting you from the symptoms, protecting you from
the autoimmune response.
Yeah, the immune response will be very fast, so you will not really have a serious illness.
Do you know of any flu vaccines that are mRNA?
I think there is no mRNA vaccines for influenza.
Okay. Are they somehow more effective than what we've been using with the weakened virus form?
So I can't say that. It's not my field of study, but what I've seen from research, like the published paper that I've read, the effectiveness is really high. And from my point of view, I see that the main advantage of the mRNA, you are injecting people with the same codes for the same protein. And in this case, you are just eliminating all other side effects. Like, as I said, if you are injecting just weakened virus, you have different chunks of different proteins. Maybe you didn't kill the virus. Maybe you can get a living virus, like the whole virus who can replicate in your body. Like, you're not sure, you're not 100% sure. The other type of vaccines to use chimpanzee like viruses, I forgot what it's called, a virus that attacks chimpanzees and then genetically modify it to be like a vaccine for specific diseases. And that's, I think, what AstraZeneca produced, this kind of genetically modified virus. So it's not only weakened virus, there is weakened virus, there is genetically modified virus, there is DNA vaccines, there is protein vaccines, and now mRNA vaccines. mRNA vaccines were really hard because I told you, the mRNA molecule is not stable. Okay. And that's why it's required very low temperatures to keep.
No, what is the half-life of the mRNA molecule that's designed in the vaccine? Do you have a ballpark? It's not
I'm not sure, but I guess it's few hours. Yeah, of course. I mean, we're talking about a human body temperature.
Yeah, how about once it's injected into the body?
Yeah, it has like very short lifetime, and that's why they are really quickly translated to proteins, and then they will be breaking down. And that's why you need, they will be broken down very rapidly. And that's why you need a second shot or a third shot, because not enough proteins produced. And also you have really to know how the immune system works, because you need to generate memory cells, and memory cells needs let's say specific response in order to really have a good memory cells that will keep you protected for longer time.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you really got your work cut out for you.
I'm trying to explain it as easy as possible, but I don't know if you can really follow me.
There's definitely a lot to it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's fascinating what you're doing with certain.
But I'm not working with vaccines. It's not my field.
But there's definitely the relationship between, you know, microbiomes, in this case a virus versus bacteria, and, you know, like the body's response. In one case it would be colorectal cancer, and the other would be COVID, you know, like the response to COVID.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, like developing vaccines against cancer is harder job than developing vaccines against viruses, because in viruses it's like a foreign body for us. Cancer is our own cells, so you have to really find target that is only exist on the cancer cells but not the others. And here is the challenge, actually. Yeah.
Now, okay, so besides now the way that we do it now, you know, is to cut out the cancer cells, right? Just to remove that, or to chemically kill it. Is there
chemotherapy?
Yeah, exactly. Are there other ways to do that?
I think yes. Surgery to remove the tumor.
It would be removing it.
I guess there is also like some really developments in this field, which I guess by freezing the tumor or heating up the tumor. I'm not quite sure if they are really in practice, but I've read such things.
It's a fascinating topic, and I can't wait to see where it goes, you know. So here's what I think we ought to do at this time.
Or even there is what they called it, CAR T cells. That's a very specific. So engineered immune cells that targets cancer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's okay. So that's going to be a topic for another time. We've been doing this for a long time. I want to say about an hour and a half.
Okay.
You know, around that time. Yeah. So I think at this time, here's what we ought to do, and what we ought to do is.
But I was not really prepared. Maybe if you need to know more information, I have to refresh my knowledge about these things, just to give you specific information.
It's a fascinating conversation, and I'm the better for having had it. You know, like I've learned a lot.
Okay.
At this point in time, I would like to write down a few things that you had said. And now that you know that these things are going to be inaccurate, I want you to correct them. Now, hopefully, we haven't tested this, but I hope that you can read what I'm going to write on this on the whiteboard here.
This is a high technology operation we are working with here.
Yeah, but you can share your screen and just start PowerPoint and draw or write if you want, for future plans.
That's true. Okay, so here's what I got. We were talking. Let me try to make sure that no cords get. Okay.
For those in the audience who aren't aware, Calvin used to be a teacher, so this is right up his alley.
Yeah. So we were talking about. This was one of the first things we talked about. It was about Germans, and they were treating me So in this case, now that you know that it's inaccurate, they were treating me very well is not entirely accurate. This means, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a timeline. This is the past progressive or the past continuous, the same thing. So we have now, and there is a closed or a finite length of time in the past. This is the past continuous. When I hear this, it makes me think, well, they were treating you very well. And
but
this is
now.
a past event. But two things, like you are currently in Germany. So we have to attach it to now, right? Like they were treating me very well, but now they're not, right? But that's really inaccurate. So how would you change this?
They are, right?
They are treating me very well.
You want to make it in the present or what? What do you mean?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we need to connect it to the now, and you do have more than one option here.
Yeah, or they have, I guess.
They have what? Go ahead and
they have been treating me very well.
Good. What you've said there is the present perfect continuous, which is complicated but still perfectly fine. They have been. Have been is going to start in the past and continue into the now. They have been treating me very well. Chris, does that sound good to you?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I wouldn't say very.
Okay, they have been treating me well. Yeah.
I mean, unless they were.
Then sure.
You know.
Now, let me ask you this, Harith. Let's say that this is. It is always happening, right? Like it is. I don't want to give away the answer, but if it's like a schedule, you know, like constantly and always happening.
They treat me very well.
Perfect. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're right. It's a matter of fact. They treat me very well. It's ongoing. It's happening. And it's a fact, right? Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying they have been treating me very well, and that's fine. You can say like this was when you first came to Germany, and this is now. They have been treating me very well. Good. Ooh. Okay. Now there was a time where you were on the train, and you said that people. They are staring at you. No, they are staring on you. I need an eraser. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a paper towel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think staring at, not on. Right, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to write this down, and you had said they are staring on you.
Yeah,
when these people are on the staring on you, now that you know something might be wrong here, how would you change this?
Yeah, at you, I guess.
That's one aspect of it. Yeah, changing the position. You're right.
You mean they were. I mean,
very good. That's right.
Yeah.
See, and that goes back to that timeline that I erased. It's in the past continuous.
Yeah,
there is a closed time in the past. It started with, being on the subway, and it ended with, the end of the interaction. They were staring at me. Good. So that needs to change to were. They were staring at you. They were staring at me. Here we go. You had said microbes that lives on the skin.
No. Did I say that?
You did.
Microbes live.
That's fine. Yeah, good. You did say that, but yeah, you're right. Can you explain why, Harith? I know you knew this, and I knew you did it before I wrote it.
So microbes is a plural.
Good.
So the verb should be not in the singular third person, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, the singular third person is right. Yeah, this needs to be in the plural form.
Yeah.
Good. Now
Form.
yeah, you got it. Ooh.
Sometimes when you're talking, you are not really paying attention to this. It's just
Absolutely.
coming out. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, and that's why, like, I have so much admiration for people
Mhm.
who can converse in a foreign language. We do this
Yep.
naturally, but you've learned the science of the language, and to speak it
Mhm.
this naturally, it's really remarkable.
Mhm.
Oh, here's a good one. Okay, this is pronunciation, and I didn't really say anything, but so I want to break this down into.
I can't see it. What is that?
Is that right? Oh, okay. Here, let me move this for you.
Okay.
I can't really do too much with it. Okay.
Yes.
You see it? Okay. I'm going to break this down.
Photograph. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And this was pronunciation.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to stress this syllable. It's photography. Photography.
Yeah. Photography.
Good. So, yeah, can you give us a sentence with photography?
Oh, photography is my hobby.
Yeah, good. Where do you ever publish your photography?
Well, yeah, some of them on Facebook. I think you've seen some.
I do remember you changed your profile pic the other day. Where were you? It was. Go ahead, explain that. Paint a picture for us.
That was in Portugal,
Really?
in Faro.
Cool.
No, Algarve, Portugal. Last summer vacation.
Okay, because I remember we talked about that when we talked last for your birthday in February. You were talking about Faro. Yeah. Beautiful, man. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
This will be the last thing that I wanted to talk about. I'll go ahead and erase this for space.
How did you get into photography?
That was poorly
Just
timed.
bought a camera and practice. Watching some YouTube videos, learn the angle and all kind of different techniques and settings, camera settings and stuff.
We were talking about Christiana in this example.
Okay.
This says, I am meeting her from time to time. From time to time is a constant or a consistent, maybe scheduled
I meet
activity.
her.
You got it. Good.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. I meet her from time to time. Yeah. And what this mistake is just common. It's a common mistake between present simple and present continuous. It happens, it'll happen again, but it's always good to know it and to be reminded of it.
Yeah. When you see the sentence, it's much easier to figure out the mistake.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
When you are talking, if you are just trying to speak naturally without thinking, then you maybe do some mistakes.
God knows I do. Absolutely.
Still trying to master English myself.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's really hard. Like, even like in Arabic, my mother language, I think I'm not really speaking perfect Arabic.
Yeah. Ooh, well, it's like, hey, let's go back to this one. It's the same. It's the same error, because you were talking. Sorry.
What did I say?
when I go back to Arabic, I am not speaking perfect Arabic.
Okay. No, I do not.
Yeah, that's
speak.
Right. Yeah, that's right. You got it. Good.
Okay,
yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah, I know. The reason. Do you remember the reason why it needs to be I don't speak instead of I am not speaking?
Because also this is a fact. It's not
that's right.
Something that I'm currently doing.
Perfect. Yeah, you're right. It's fact. It's like an always happening event. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that takes us to the end of the correction aspect of it. I mean, you know,
Cool.
it's been a fascinating conversation, and I don't know, we don't even have to say goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Harith, we
I
appreciate
really
your
like.
time, and we appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
being our guinea pig
You.
more than anything.
Yeah, our lab
Yeah,
rat.
I'm
Our
very
lab
happy
rat.
to.
Yeah.
Lab rat.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be also a guest in your this new podcast. I really like.
Once we get this thing a little more defined, might have to have you back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
sure. I would love to. I told Calvin before, I really will do my best to support this project.
Yeah.